does this seem like a step back for him, or is there something that's not connecting with him as far as the growth that you guys have talked about?
No, I mean, look, I know that it certainly doesn't look good. I get that, but at the same token, it's just, it kind of all came on here at the same time, and it's really decision making, for him, and and that's where he knows he can be better. Don't put yourself in those situations. He's going to learn from this, grow from it. We've talked about it. And I still think there's been a ton of growth out of this player.
Do you think that we talked about, last week, losing his grip on the rope, but it's still there for him? We've talked about, extending a hand down, but you're not there to, guide him necessarily all the way. Do you think he understands? Does he appreciate, just your perspective, does he appreciate how quickly his football career can end? Do you think he understands that and appreciates it? You communicated that to him?
I think he does. I think he's become more and more aware of that over time, and I think he does. And look, for me, man, I judge people over what's in their heart, and I know what this kid's made of, and and he's worth hanging with. And so, he's going to learn from this. He's going to grow. He'll be better for all this.
Where you guys are, where you guys want to go, certainly he could help you on the field, but is this just an unnecessary distraction? I know you talk about focus all the time, but is this just not really exactly what you want to be dealing with? And the players are going to be asked about it. It's an issue now for the whole team.
Yeah, no, you'd rather not be dealing with it, and you don't want the players to have to deal with it. But I think at the same token, it's I really do feel like for us and the players, it's a little bit of a non-issue because he's not here. I mean, he's in the building and he's doing what he can. But we also know we didn't have him last week. We're prepared not to have him. We're prepared not to have him this week, and that's just kind of how we roll. Really no different than, unfortunately, a guy who's injured, he's not going to play, he's going to be out. Then, man, we're about the guys who are going to play and getting them ready to go, and we don't bat an eye. How are those guys going to help us win the next game? And so I do feel like that's where we're at as a team. So I'm not no, I'd rather not answer them, but at the same token, I don't feel like this is a big distraction.
The details that he told you, how did they match up with what's
going on? They lined up. They all lined up.
Dan, there's a common thread with his, three things. It's just not knowing the details or not following the details, and what do you do as an organization, I guess, to just make sure he's on his P's and Q's with not just football but life?
Yeah, you continue to coach him up on it, teach him, and let him know. It's a different environment, and you got to understand that you're looked at different and you're viewed different, and anybody else out there, something happens, nobody even knows about it. It doesn't, whereas, man, they're looking, and any little thing can turn into a huge thing here. So you just got to do your best to stay out of those situations where something like this doesn't come up.
Coach, transitioning to the football side, last 4 games, y'all scored 172 points. And in the Green Bay, how do you keep up that type of production? Obviously, it's tough to score that any game, but just that sort of production in the groove that you guys are in, how you guys keep that going forward in the Green Bay?
Well, details, man. The details to what we do are important and really on all 3 phases, and that's where we've been pretty good. But offensively, certainly, man, that's where it begins. The effort that we're having, the production downfield, the guys that are blocking downfield for their teammates, like all of those things play into it. And so if those things start to slip, that's where you can get in trouble. Let me say this is a very good opponent. All right. Matt's done a hell of a job, continues to do a hell of a job. I think Jeff Hafley's a hell of a coach. I've known him for a little while now, but I think this defense is humming. Kenny Clark, I think, is an outstanding player. We know about Gary. I mean, I can go across the board. McKinney. Quay Walker, Alexander. I mean, they got players, and they're playing hard defensively. So it's a damn good defense, and we've kind of hit this patch of some really good defenses. And this is going to be no different. And over there offensively, man, they can control the clock. Jacobs he's a factor, man. This is a real dude. And then they've got really 6 receivers over there, and with Love pulling the trigger, and a gritty offensive line, they come off the ball. Tight ends playing well. So look, this is going to be this is a hell of a matchup. I mean, this is 2 big-time programs going at it at their place, and I'm looking forward to it. I know our guys are looking forward to it, but details, man, we got to be on the little things.
You were in the market for a backup quarterback.
Thanks.
You were in the market for a backup quarterback a few years ago. Got a real nice up-close look at the Senior Bowl at Malik. Didn't really catch on in Tennessee, but he's kept them afloat in the NFC North race here. When you look at his film, you might see him this week. When you look at his film, where is he excelling? How much of that matches with what you saw potential-wise down in Mobile?
Yeah, scrambling. Man, he's a dangerous scrambler. That is where it begins for him. His ability to generate explosives, getting out of the pocket and taking off, man, that's where he's extremely dangerous. And to your point, they're at the end of the game, Jacksonville, man, they run the little sneaky out the backside to 11, who I think is arguably their best receiver. This guy's a playmaking